Hello everyone, it's Shiki. I am back with another video. Just another chilled, laid back commentary video, but topic of today's video is about the show A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, which I think is an absolutely entertaining show that I think people should definitely watch. Um, it's about a hedge knight named Duncan, and he's not the brightest guy, but he has good intentions, and I think that's what makes the show so wholesome um and chill, because you don't really see that often in Westeros where people are like, trying to not always scheme or oops, what am I doing? But aren't always trying to scheme and all that stuff. It's just a guy who's just a hedge knight who's just trying to find his way in the world of Westeros, and I think there's something about that that's just so entertaining to see because we don't really get to see much of the perspectives of like the small folk or uh even like lesser known knights in the kingdom. You're traditionally normally just seeing people of high power, play the game and play their political battles and stuff within Game of Thrones and the House of Dragon. But here it's just about a knight who's just like, I'm a hedge knight. I understand what I am, but there's got to be a way for me to succeed in this world. And I think that this show is displaying it pretty well. Oops. By having, oh my god, I'm just bouncing back and forth by, having it be focused on just a knight, and not even like a household knight. It's just like a hedge knight, someone who doesn't really have allegiance to anybody, but is like still a knight of the kingdom, just doesn't really have anything else going for him besides, I'm gonna go from place to place and find my way and do work and stuff like that. But along his way, he finds this boy named Egg, who becomes his squire eventually. I'm trying not to spoil it to be honest, just because in case anybody who's watching wants to go see the show, I highly recommend it. Um, I feel like me talking about it can't really you know emphasize on like why you should really go see it, but I'm gonna do the best I can. Because I'll be honest, I've been glazing this show for a while, dude. Like I've been waiting for it. I was like excited because it's about George R. R. Martin. It's based on George R. R. Martin's book, The Hedge Knight, that came out like I think, what, 1998. Um, I won't sit here and pretend like I've read the book. I haven't, but one thing I get addicted to is like, and this is gonna sound super cringe, but I like to read wikis like so often about certain like content, and just so happened that when I was reading the Westeros, or what's it called, the Game of Thrones wiki, I uh I ended up like stumbling upon Dunk and his story, and I was like, oh well, this is actually really sick. It's this guy uh comes from pretty humbling beginnings, but ends up making a name for himself. And I won't really say how he makes a name for himself. It's something for you to experience yourself, I'd say. But let's just say it's pretty interesting how you know someone can like change their fate and their whole like way of doing things just by sometimes sheer luck, but also like the sheer will to just like continue on and trying to achieve something, which I think this show is like capturing pretty well. A little, I wouldn't say this is a spoiler, but I think like a good example is just his persistence. Right, he doesn't he doesn't give up. Like he just keeps going, and right now it's centered around a tourney. Um, and he goes as tourney, but he needs to be vouched to be able to participate because honestly, no one was there when he was knighted besides the knight he squired for, who unfortunately passed away. Which is, I wouldn't say as much of a spoiler. I mean, it's like the first like minute or two of the show, but you know, he has to find someone to vouch for him, and then like him going about it and him just not giving up and you know finding a way to make it work, which I think is probably, you know, aspiring to see in a show, because it's like this guy is not someone who's supposed to make it, you know, like he's just a hedge knight, for crying out loud. But yeah, it's a pretty good show. There's some great humor in it too. it's there's some NSFW stuff, but it's, you know, it's a George R. R. Martin piece, so it kind of comes with the territory. But yeah, it's definitely something worth checking out. Uh, if you have already seen it or are you caught up with the first two episodes, let me know in the comments. I'm actually curious to see what you guys have to say. Uh, right now, I'm caught up with the two episodes. I'm waiting for the third one. I watched the trailer for the third episode and it looks fire as hell. I can't wait to see that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. It's not nothing too exciting for a video, but it's just like thought I'd just chill and, you know, speak my mind and just have fun with it. All right. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. Peace.